Hello and welcome to the Hornby magazine workshop. We're busy as usual in here. Today we're working on a series of micro layouts. These are going to be for the April issue for our micro layout special. Down the end here we've got Mark, he's working on a 00 gauge layout, and we've just finished off some detailing and some of the grass work on that one. Now if you come round behind me just here, you can see we've also got an N gauge one in construction, which is currently sitting on top of a O gauge one as well. And then around the other side here, a little sneak peek of our little narrow gauge layout that I've been working on as well. So this is just a tiny little 4 foot by 1 foot layout. I'll be talking much more about this in the April issue of the magazine. One of the main features of the Hornby magazine workshop is top to tail. This is our 00 gauge test track. It's 16 foot by 10 foot. It's got a double track main line, which you can see in the distance. We've got a Q6 over in the far side hauling a cement train. And just down in the foreground here you can see the latest Hornby J36 on the front of a nice 25 wagon rake of mineral wagons. The layout was originally built to be 10 foot by 11 foot, but since I moved to this new location I've been able to make it considerably bigger. So down the far end here you can see where the original scenic section ends. I've still got a bit of patching work to do in there. And then you can see where we're now developing the new scenic areas slowly. Which are giving us a double junction here, which you can just see the Q6 coming through, and that's allowed us to put much more operational value into the layout. It's allowed us to have a pair of diamond crossings in the layout as well, which gives much more testing of locos running through point work, and a lot more play value too when we get the opportunity. So this is the first little bit of scenery which we've done on the layout so far. We did this for a little feature a couple of issues back. Which models a small line-side hut from the Intensio range of laser cut models. It's got a couple of ballast bins which are from Skytrex, and you can also see a couple of figures there from dark castings with wheelbarrows. All the signals in the layout are by dapple, with the exception of one. All of the ones on the scenic section at this side of the layout, they're all wired in. But there's two over the far side. There's one just by the tunnel mouth there, which is a distance, and one by the cement train over in the distance there, which is they're not wired in just yet. And if you come with me along to this end of the layout, and you'll see here this is a bracket signal. This one's yet to be replaced. The plan is that once Dapple's bracket signals are available, that will be replaced as well with a fully working signal, which will give us a nice bit of operation leading into the goods loop. Another scene on this layout that regular readers will be familiar with is the station. We recently refurbished it. We've put some new detail outside the front of the station. It's all been cleaned up. I've got all the road vehicles back out after they've been in storage for a little while. And then on the station itself, we've got figures now. We've put the benches back in. And as you can see, just over on the far side there, we even have named station running in boards. So you can't forget, this is top to tail. It's all been given a London Midland region theme, which just suits the Peak District setting of top to tail. Well, obviously the Q6 and the J36 that are running today, they've got an Eastern region flavour. We like to change things up every now and again. This is the storage yard for top to tail. We built this new storage yard when we moved the layout to its new location here. It's given us a 10-track storage area at the back of the layout, which gives us plenty of space for trains and some long ones as well. The longest siding can hold a 10-coach train with a little bit of room to spare. We've also got some nice length goods trains as well. Now, one of the advantages of the 10-foot width of this layout means we'll actually be able to get a second inner circuit to loop round the layout as well, which is all this where the Q6 is now, all this down here coming along the front of the layout. That will all be scenic, and then there'll be a back scene running alongside the edge of the timber there. That will separate the scenic section from the storage yard and allow us to create a new vista for some nice photographs and videos. Both ends of the storage yard are different in their design. This end is quite straight due to its location, and just to the right of the storage yard here you can see that we've got the double junction, and that's where it splits to allow trains to either go around the branch line route following this concrete sleeper track section here, or they can just go straight in and out of the storage yard through these two tracks here. At the back here we've got a pair of DCC Concepts surface mounted point motors. They've been doing sterling work, changing points for trains to leave the storage yard. And then when we come forward to the diversion route, where the cement train is again, you can see we've laid the nearest track with concrete sleepered track, and the outer circuit here is laid with wooden sleepered track. We want to give it a bit of a different style to the railway here as it runs around in front of what will be eventually a limestone face, like we can see just here next to the tunnel mouth. These stones, they're actually wooden scenics castings which are made using their hydrocal. We've got quite a lot more of those to make and then paint and detail before we get this scene fully finished. We've just got the J36 coming back through the tunnel mouth here as well. Now this model you will be able to read about in our latest issue of the magazine. It's in the March issue. It's a lovely model, it's a beautiful runner. It's got a twin flywheel mechanism in it, with the motor positioned in the centre of the boiler. And impressively for a little 060, it's quite happily trundling around with this 25 wagon coal train. Right, so that's topped it down. Like I say, that's our double O gauge test track. We've still got plenty of scenic work to do on that in the future. We've got the goods yard to finish off just on the left here, and then to develop the scenery along here in front of the road bridge, and that will give us a nice finished scene there at some point in the future. As it's not going to any shows, it's a permanent fixture in the workshop here. There's no particular timeline or rush to get that done, but when it's done, it will be done. And then underneath top of the L is our O gauge test track, and this has a choice of operation for digital or analog control. The outer circuit where the 37 is permanently digital controlled, whilst the inner circuit where the Prairie's just come past, that's the one where you can plug in either analog or digital control systems. It's a 16 by 10 foot layout again, just like the top of the Dale above. It uses the same footprint, and it's actually the size of this layout that dictated the size of top of the Dale above when we made all the modifications to it. As you can see, it's got plenty going off here as well. We're still working on some of the track arrangements on the O gauge test track, as the 37 there makes its way around the newly installed goods loop. We've got a diesel depot scene here on this side. I think I've really built this to store my ever-growing collection of locomotives. You can see we've got a Western, we've got a 45 which I'm partway through weathering as well. There's a little Loco 15, there's the Helton 25 that you might recognise from a couple of issues ago when we did the sound installation. And there's a couple of pannier tanks. So the plan for this ultimately is the point where the wagons are just passing through now. We want to replace that with a double slip there, and then move the point onto the inner circuit, and that will allow us to get the goods loop to be bi-directional, so we can run trains in and out of the goods loop then either from the inner circuit in the direction the Prairie is about to pass, which will allow them to run in and then run out back through the other side where there's another double slip. Or we'll be able to use it as we currently do now, which is to have a third train on the way out to let it run. As you can see, this corner we've just been doing some development work on the baseboards. I've actually just replaced both these corner boards here, and that's to allow us to replace the original boards, which were, well, they were designed to fit over the top of a pair of cabinets, and now we don't have the cabinets. Because the plan is in the future that there's going to be a third level in here as well, but that's for my own garden railway project, which is very much in the early stages at the moment. That will be an O gauge as well. So on the back here we've got a series of Intensio laser cut retaining wall sections, and the same manufacturer's GWR ARP signal box kit there as well, which I'm just in the early stages of building at the moment. Next to it we've got another Intensio kit for LNER plate layers hut. I know that Great Western and LNER don't go together, but I like them both. And then creating the exit from the scenic section here, we've got a KS Laser Designs laser cut double track bridge there as well. The O gauge test track, it's really just a nice place to watch trains go by. It's really useful as our test track. I've also been using it for creating my own train formations ready to go out on the garden railway when I've got that up and running later this year. I've been quite consistently building goods wagons, collecting both ready to run ones and building kits as well. There's a few more kits on the workbench at the moment, and with plenty more to see on this as well, both in terms of rolling stock and in terms of scenery in the future as well. hope you've enjoyed this little behind the scenes tour of the magazine workshop. Like I say, it's always a busy place in here. We've always got things happening. We're always building new layouts. Even when I say I'm not going to, there's usually something else on the cards. And we hope you enjoy our next issue of the magazine, where you can read all about this collection of micro layouts as well. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.